Imagine this. You're an archaeologist, and in your hands lies a clay tablet 5,000 years old. On it, cuneiform symbols tell the story of powerful beings who descended from the heavens to rule over mankind. These beings possessed incredible technologies, could fly between stars, and created human civilization. Sounds like science fiction, yet these are exactly the kind of texts scientists discover when excavating ancient Mesopotamia. Welcome to the enigmatic world of the Anunnaki, one of the most controversial topics in modern archaeology and alternative history. Who were these mysterious beings? Ancient gods born from human imagination, or real extraterrestrials who visited our planet in the distant past? To understand the phenomenon of the Anunnaki, we must journey to ancient Mesopotamia, in the territory of modern-day Iraq. Here, approximately 6,000 years ago, the first known human civilization emerged, the Sumerian. These remarkable people gave the world writing, the wheel, astronomy, mathematics, and a complex legal system. But the most astonishing aspect of Sumerian culture was their detailed accounts of gods they called the Anunnaki. Translated from Sumerian, this means those who came from heaven to earth. According to ancient texts, the Anunnaki were a race of highly advanced beings who ruled both the heavens and the earth. Chief among them was Anu, lord of the sky, father of gods. His sons Enlil and Enki divided power over air and water between themselves. Enlil became ruler of the atmosphere and earth, while Enki gained dominion over underground waters and wisdom. The Anunnaki pantheon included several hundred deities in total, each with their own functions and responsibilities. What makes Sumerian texts particularly intriguing is the incredible detail in their descriptions of the Anunnaki. Unlike the vague myths of other cultures, the Sumerians left detailed technical descriptions of their gods and their activities. In the Epic of Gilgamesh and other texts, the celestial chariots of the Anunnaki are described as capable of moving through air and between worlds. There are mentions of palaces in the heavens and fiery dragons on which the gods descended to earth. Enki is described as a being possessing genetic knowledge and capable of molding living creatures from clay, which modern researchers interpret as possible genetic experiments. Particularly striking is the description of human creation. According to Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki created humans not from nothing, but by mixing their divine essence with clay of the earth. The texts speak of the goddess Ninti, who took clay from the abyss and mixed it with the flesh and blood of a god, creating the first humans. One of the most captivating elements of Sumerian cosmology is the mention of the mysterious planet Nibiru. According to ancient texts, this was the home planet of the Anunnaki, which had an elongated orbit and approached our solar system every 3,600 years. The Sumerians described our solar system with astonishing accuracy, including planets that were only officially discovered in the 19th and 20th centuries. They knew about the existence of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which seems impossible for a civilization without telescopes. Ancient Sumerian seals depict diagrams of the solar system with an additional planet between Mars and Jupiter. This planet is Nibiru, the world of the Anunnaki. According to the texts, it was from this planet that those who descended from heaven came to earth. In the 1970s, linguist and historian Zecharia Sitchin created a real sensation with his interpretation of Sumerian texts. After spending decades studying cuneiform, he reached an astonishing conclusion. The Anunnaki were real aliens from the planet Nibiru. According to Sitchin's theory, approximately 450,000 years ago, representatives of an advanced civilization from Nibiru landed on Earth. They came here not for conquest, but with a practical purpose, mining gold, which was necessary to save the atmosphere of their home planet. Initially, the Anunnaki themselves engaged in gold mining, creating mines in South Africa. But the hard labor led to a revolt among the worker astronauts. Then the expedition leaders, Enlil and Enki, decided to create a workforce by genetically modifying local primates. Using their DNA and genetic material from Earth's hominids, they created Homo sapiens, modern humans. This very process is described in Sumerian texts as creating man from clay, where clay symbolizes biological material and breath of gods represents the genetic information of the aliens. Proponents of the ancient astronaut theory point to numerous archaeological findings that, in their opinion, confirm the presence of an advanced civilization in antiquity. In South African mines, traces of gold mining dating back hundreds of thousands of years have indeed been discovered. These mines are so ancient that their creation is attributed to an unknown civilization that existed long before the appearance of modern humans. Ancient megalithic structures worldwide demonstrate a level of engineering mastery that seems impossible for the technologies of that time. The pyramids of Giza, Baalbek in Lebanon, Sacsayhuaman in Peru, all these structures are built with such precision and from such massive stones that modern science still cannot explain how ancient builders accomplished this task. Particularly intriguing are the images on ancient artifacts. On Sumerian seals, one can see beings in spacesuit-like helmets, surrounded by symbols resembling atomic or molecular diagrams. In Mayan and Aztec temples, images of gods descending from the sky in objects strikingly similar to modern rockets have been preserved. However, the scientific community regards the ancient astronaut theory with great skepticism. Archaeologists and historians point to numerous problems in the interpretation of Sitchin and his followers. First, many specialists in Sumerology claim that Sitchin incorrectly translated ancient texts. They note that Sumerian writing is extremely complex, and many words have multiple meanings depending on context. What Sitchin interpreted as celestial ships, traditional translators understand as poetic metaphors for divine power. Second, archaeologists explain ancient technological achievements not through alien intervention, but through underestimation of ancient civilizations' capabilities. Modern experiments have shown that pyramids and other megaliths would have been built using technologies available at that time, although this required exceptional skill and organization of thousands of workers. Regarding the astronomical knowledge of the Sumerians, scientists note that many accurate descriptions of planets could have been added to later copies of texts when astronomy had already reached the corresponding level of development. Planet Nibiru, astronomical reality or myth. Modern astronomy does not confirm the existence of planet Nibiru as described by the Sumerians. An orbit with a period of 3,600 years that would periodically bring a massive planet close to Earth would lead to catastrophic changes in the solar system, traces of which we would certainly have discovered. However, in recent years, astronomers have indeed discovered evidence of a large planet on the outskirts of the solar system. This hypothetical planet, X or ninth planet, has an orbit 20 times larger than Neptune's orbit and an orbital period of 10 to 20,000 years. Some researchers suggest that this very planet could have inspired ancient astronomers to create the myth of Nibiru. Perhaps ancient observers somehow knew about the existence of this distant world, although modern science cannot yet explain how they could have detected it. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Anunnaki theory is the question of modern human origins. Indeed, there are some puzzles in Homo sapiens evolution that still baffle scientists. About 300,000 years ago, there was a sharp leap in human brain development. Cranial capacity nearly doubled in just a few tens of thousands of years, an instant by evolutionary standards. This leap was so radical that some researchers call it a genetic miracle. Modern genetics has also discovered interesting facts. Analysis of mitochondrial DNA showed that all modern humans descended from a small group of ancestors living in Africa about 200,000 years ago. This group was so small, perhaps just a few thousand individuals, that geneticists call it an evolutionary bottleneck. Proponents of the ancient astronaut theory claim that these facts confirm the idea of genetic intervention. They point out that the sharp leap in brain development and the limited number of ancestors may indicate directed selection or genetic modification. Remarkably, similar stories about gods from heaven appear in the mythologies of virtually all ancient civilizations. In Egypt, they tell of the Neteru, divine beings who arrived from the stars. Indian Vedas describe Vimanas, flying palaces of the gods. Greek myths tell of titans who taught humans civilization. In America, completely isolated from the old world, the Maya worshipped Kukulkan, the feathered serpent who descended from heaven. The Incas revered Viracocha, the creator who arrived from the stars. Even in Australia, Aborigines tell of lightning people who flew from the sky and taught them survival. These parallels are so striking that they make one wonder, could ancient civilizations have independently invented such similar stories? Or is there a real foundation behind all these myths, a memory of contact with representatives of an advanced civilization? Regardless of whether the Anunnaki were real aliens or products of human imagination, their story continues to fascinate millions of people worldwide. In an era when we ourselves are becoming a spacefaring civilization, the question of possible ancient contacts with extraterrestrial civilizations takes on special relevance. The SETI program continues searching for signals from other civilizations. The James Webb Space Telescope discovers new exoplanets, some of which may be habitable. Perhaps in the coming decades we will finally get an answer to the question, are we alone in the universe? Meanwhile, the story of the Anunnaki remains one of humanity's most captivating mysteries. Were they ancient gods born from humanity's need to explain the incomprehensible, or real visitors from space who left traces in our genetic memory? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Perhaps ancient texts contain kernels of real events, distorted by time and repeated retellings. Or perhaps this entire story is merely testimony to the amazing power of human imagination and our eternal dream of meeting brothers in reason. One thing can be said for certain, the Anunnaki mystery continues to inspire researchers, writers, and dreamers, reminding us that there are still many blank spaces in our planet's history, waiting for their discoverers.